What's up guys, TechTitan here, and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this video, as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you enjoy my content, please leave a thumbs up on this video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more tech related videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Oh, also real quick, all my social media will be linked below if you guys want to check me out there. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So this is a long overdue comparison between the Samsung Galaxy J7 Refine and the LG Stylo 4. And these two are arguably the best two budget phones that you can buy right now that are under $200. So this is Samsung's version of the $200 budget phone, and this is LG's version of the $200 phone. Now prices do change from time to time. They can get cheaper. They just won't get higher than $200, but that's besides the point. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started, and let's start with design, and let's talk about the design of the Galaxy J7 Refine. I did several videos on both these phones, so I'll also leave them linked below if you guys want to also take a look at them individually. So the design of the Galaxy J7 Refine is really simple, and that's the best way I can describe it. Really a simple design, but really clean also. So it has this 5.5-inch 720p display, a big forehead and a big chin in 2018, which is kind of weird to see, even if it's a budget phone. As you guys will see in a second, the LG Stylo 4 is also a budget phone and doesn't have the big chin and a big forehead. But yeah, so on the bottom you have your home button as well as your back and multitasking, and those two do not light up, but they're still pretty good and pretty responsive. So on the right hand side you have your power button, on the left hand side you have your volume up and down, and these are some quality buttons. They're clicky, tactile, and they definitely get the job done. Now on the back you do have your 13 megapixel camera with the LED flash. Also on the front you do have also a 13 megapixel camera. So also on the right hand side you do have your awkwardly placed speaker, and it's a pretty good speaker. Right off the top, it is better than the LG Stylo 4 speaker, but I'll give you guys a speaker comparison in a little bit. So yeah, overall, I mean, it's just a block of plastic. Really quality though. Plastic, yeah, it's cheap, but the matte finish does give it a nice texture and a nice feel, and there is kind of attention to detail in terms of design. The curved edges give it a better grip, and yeah, overall it's a pretty good design. That's just what you're gonna expect with a $200 phone. So yeah. And now let's talk about the design of the LG Stylo 4. So the LG Stylo 4 has a 6.2-inch 1080p HD Plus display, which supports that amazing 18:9 aspect ratio that I feel like even budget phones need to make the move to it. And also on the right hand side you have your power button, as well as on the left hand side you have your volume up and down. They're also clicky. Now here's the thing, they're not really as clicky as the Galaxy J7's button, even though they are made out of metal. So that's kind of weird to me. Which brings us to my next point. The build quality on the LG Stylo 4 is a little bit better in terms of like the materials that have been used. It does use plastic on the back, but it also uses metal on the sides for a more premium feel, basically. But one thing that I do want to say on the about the back real quick is that it scratches way easier than the Galaxy J7 Refine. So I would definitely recommend the case on it. Also, the back on the Galaxy J7 Refine does look cleaner in my opinion. Also, you have your fingerprint sensor, which you don't have on the J7 Refine. Also, you have your main camera, which is a 13 megapixel sensor, as well as the front-facing camera, which is only a 5 megapixel sensor. But they both, so the front-facing camera is wide angle, so is the Galaxy J7 Refine's front-facing camera. But yeah, so that's really okay. On the bottom, I forgot to mention that this is the Stylo 4, so it does have the stylus. You have your speaker, and you also have your USB-C, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. And on the bottom of the J7 Refine, you do have a 3.5mm headphone jack, but it uses a really old connector at this point, the micro USB, which should be discontinued, and hopefully this is the last budget Samsung phone that we will see with a micro USB. If the next J7 comes with a micro USB, I would really be disappointed. I mean, come on now. But yeah, that's besides the point. So now if we look at the move from the J7 2017 to the J7 Refine or the J7 2018, it's really incremental. So the design is similar, but on the J7 Refine, it is as the name inclines, it is as the name implies, it is the refined version. I mean, it's just the cleaner version, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I guess in 2018, where competition is moving towards that 18:9 aspect ratio, then yeah, it actually kind of matters. So yeah, that's just the story behind the design. Now let's talk a little bit about battery life. So they both come in with a 3300 milliamp hour battery, and it's decently large for the display and the resolution. But I do gotta say that the J7 Refine does have the better battery life. It lasts longer because it doesn't really have to push as much pixels as the LG Stylo 4. So since it does only have 720p panel versus the 1080p on the LG Stylo 4. So yeah, battery life is better on the Galaxy J7 Refine. But here's the thing though, the Stylo 4 does support some really fast charging via USB-C, so that kind of makes up for it. So I will in fact give the battery life to the Stylo 4, because the difference between the so while the J7 Refine does have the better battery life by a little bit, it's not really by a huge margin, but the Stylo 4 does support quick charge, which is just a feature that even budget smartphones are making the move to. I don't know why Samsung is being slow with their 2018 budget smartphones. Alright, so now let's discuss performance real quick. Okay, so performance. Now the LG Stylo 4 uses a 1.5 GHz octa-core processor, whereas the Galaxy J7 Refine uses a 1.6 GHz octa-core processor, and they both have 2 GB of RAM. Now there is a version of the LG Stylo 4 where it does have 3 GB of RAM. It's called the LG Stylo 4 Plus. I'm trying to get my hands on it for a video, so stay tuned for that and be sure you're subscribed. There's a quick plug. But yeah, so let's do a quick day-to-day speed test. So the phone app, for example, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the LG Stylo 4 did win by a little bit. So the contacts app, let's see. Okay, so the messaging app, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that goes to the J7 Refine. Now let's do a browsing test. So let's open up Google Chrome first, 3, 2, 1. All right. So the J7 Refine did open up by a little bit, and let's load up a website. So let's load up a website. So 3, 2, 1. Alright, so it's clear that the J7 Refine did win this round. So performance is kind of day-to-day tasks. I do want to give it to the J7 Refine. On the phone app, it was a little bit faster on the Stylo 4, but overall, the J7 Refine is just a little bit better in terms of performance. But again, it's not really that big of a margin, so it won't really show. In day-to-day in just day-to-day tasks. So yeah, there's a little bit about performance. Now, camera quality. The camera is similar on both of these phones. Now the J7 Refine does, in my opinion, have the better camera, and I did a separate camera review for each of the, so I did camera reviews on both of these phones. They will also be linked in the description if you guys want to check out a more detailed camera review. But yeah, basically that's really the bottom line of the camera. The J7 Refine does produce a little bit of better images than the LG Stylo 4. So bottom line, which is the phone to get? Me personally, I would definitely opt for the LG Stylo 4 over the J7 Refine, just because the Stylo 4 does have the modern design. Basically, it's kind of the, I don't know, a more future-proof design that will last longer in the future than the J7 Refine. Now, really only time will tell how performance will be affected. Usually Samsung phones do get a performance hit over time, and that's really, hopefully it's fixed this year, but that's only time will tell. But yeah, so overall I would definitely pick the LG Stylo 4 over the J7 Refine. Not to say that the J7 Refine is a bad phone, because it's not. It's actually a really good phone. It's just the state of 2018 in terms of the budget world is kind of competitive at this point, where every competitor is trying to get as much flagship features to their budget phones as they can, and Samsung is not really doing that. Hopefully they learn their lesson and go back to the drawing board and produce budget phones that meet the standards of 2018, or well, 2019. So yeah, and now let me do a quick speaker test between those two. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I mean, yeah, the speaker is definitely better on the J7 Refined by a long shot. It does get louder, it doesn't distort as much as the Stylo 4 on highest volumes, and overall just a better sound quality on the J7 Refined, so it has that for it. But yeah, and really that's all I wanted to say for this comparison. I want to thank you all so much for watching this one, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.